Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, Ruel, and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there, pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 28, is that I came across this article today where you're having the Russians, who are also known as the Medes in the scripture, all right, helping or preparing China, all right, to attack America, all right. And these are the times that we're living in because the Medes, which are the modern day Russians, they're going to spearhead the attack on America, which is known as Babylon in the scriptures, to destroy this place. All right, and let's go into a map because when you go into the ancient Medes, right, this is where they dwelled at. All right, and you have there's other maps where it shows that they even expanded up to the Caucasus Mountains. Okay, and this is exactly where modern day Russia's at. All right. Now, when you go into a map right here, let's get into it. This is a Russian map of all the territories that they've occupied. And you can see by 1965, they've occupied all through the Caucasus Mountains, all right down here, right, Turkestan, okay, all up to Siberia. This is where Russian territory is at. All right. Now, and there's maps where it shows Magog and Gog are right here, and that's where the Russians are occupying at today. So it just proves that the Medes that are mentioned in Jeremiah 51 and 28, these are talking about the Russians. All right, and they're getting ready, okay, with the nations. They're preparing to attack America. That's why they're helping China with a missile defense system. So let's read this. It's pretty interesting. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin confirms that Russia is to help build a missile defense system for China. The system should be able to counter ballistic and cruise missiles. Only Russia and the United States, which is Babylon, America, all right, have such a level of protection at present. It says military ties between China and Russia appear to have taken a leap forward after Russian President Vladimir Putin said his country is helping Beijing build a system to warn against ballistic missile launches. Speaking at the Valade Club International Affairs Conference in Sochi on Thursday, Putin confirmed the move, adding that it would promote China to a level of defense only currently enjoyed by Russia and the United States. This is a very serious thing that will dramatically increase China's defense capability because only the US and Russia have such a system now, Putin said. Global Forecast Director of Economist Intelligence Unit, Agathi Demarias, told CNBC via email Friday that such a system is viewed as a crucial part of modern nuclear deterrence. And that's the times we're getting into nuclear, all right, talks, all right, nuclear buildup. That's why Trump and Russia, they pulled out of the INF treaty, all right, which this article is going to say just to confirm it. It says details of the size and makeup of the missile defense system that Russia will build for China is unknown. At present, China employs limited resources, which includes a small Russian S-300 system, which consider only a modest deterrent against cruise and ballistic missiles. Russia's existing S-400s claim to be capable of intercepting ballistic missiles with a range of 3,500 kilometers. That program was controversially sold to NATO member Turkey this year, much to the displeasure of Washington. Right, you even have a NATO ally purchasing Russian weapons. Right? This goes to show you that these Russians are very powerful. All right? That's why, once again, Jeremiah 51 and 28, prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Notice how the Lord had singled out the kings of the Medes as the powerhouse. All right? The nations are going to go along with Russia, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. 29. And the land shall tremble with sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. And this is talking about now, right? This ain't talking about ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon, all right, was conquered by the Persian Medes, and it made into a city-state, all right? And then Alexander the Greek, all right, Alexander the Creep, he came in and conquered down the Persian Medes, and then Babylon became a city-state for the Greeks. So this is obviously talking about a Babylon of today, which is America, all right? And if you look at where Babylon used to be at, it's been occupied. You got Arabs dwelling there. Hell, you even got a U.S. embassy dwelling, okay, in Iraq, which is where Babylon would have been at, all right, in ancient times. So this obviously talking about a future Babylon, America, and it says a desolation without an inhabitant. Right, and that's what we're coming to, nuclear war. All we gotta wait for is a couple more prophecies, like Jacob's trouble and the RFID chip, the microchip, which is known as the mark of the beast, to be fulfilled, and then the nukes are going to start flying after that. So let's continue on. It says Russian-Chinese ties. It says in recent months, Russia and China appear to be increasing their economic, political, and military ties. Right. You have also known as an SCO, or the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. All right. And that's a tie with economic and political and military between Russia and China. Chinese President Xi Jinping, however you say his name, even went so far as to call Putin his best friend during a state visit to Russia this summer. Demarais said, as well as representing a willingness to work with each other, Putin and Xi defense deal also shines a spotlight on fractious relations between Washington and Moscow. Right. There's all the sanctions that has been put on Russia, all right, up to this very day, because Trump's been putting sanctions on Russia. This statement highlights Russia's growing defiance towards the U.S. and Moscow's willingness to build ties with Beijing, which raises alarm bells in the U.S., said Demarais. In September, Russian and Chinese news agency reported that the two countries want to double their trade over the next 5 years to a value of $200 billion. That's pretty significant. Demarais cautioned that while there was recent public warmth between the strongman leaders, the economic relationship between Russia and China was not yet hugely significant. That's, your opinion, all right? You just said $200 billion, okay? Let me jump down to here. It says, the EIU analyst said, aside from military and defense tie-ups, two other areas of developing Russia-China relations are finance, where currency swaps help Russia avoid using the U.S. dollar, right? And China's getting away from the dollar too. So is Iran. And nuclear energy, where Russia's state-owned nuclear firms are to build power plants in China, right? So you're seeing a heavy cooperation between Russia and China, which goes according with the scriptures, all right? But they're getting ready to pounce on America. Let's get another one. Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesied against it. Right. And when you go into an ancient map where Gog and the land of Magog were located at, that's where modern day Russia's at. All right. So this is a future prophecy. This is talking about now, what's about to happen. 3. And say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Right, because, the Lord is against you Russians, all right? But he's using you, all right, to do his bidding by destroying America, all right? He's putting the mines on you, on your generals and your and Putin and all these other hierarchy of your Russian leaders to attack America, to get their spirit in attack mode. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. So that's plain, man. All right. It proves you nations are not in control. This is the work of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. He's putting the spirit on your leaders' minds. All right. He's putting the spirit on your minds to get ready for battle. Get ready for the Third World War. So there's no way you can get around it. All right. He's using you to accomplish his prophecy. Because we're living in the prophecy. And you got to understand that. Verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a greater company with bucklers, and shields of all them handling swords. Right. Where's that map at? Because what you're about to see is the USSR come back together. All right? And you're seeing more and more of all these nations out here linking up with Russia and getting ready to go to war, okay, together, all right, because they were together at one point, all right. This is the look, 1965, territory of the USSR, all right, and they're coming together with who else? Who else are they coming with? Let's continue on. 5, Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all them with shield and helmet, right. So the Russians are coming with an army. Okay, with many nations. Okay, excuse me. 6, Gomor and his bands in the house of Tergama. Right, and I believe Gomor is Turkey. All right, where modern day Turkey's at. All right, and that also proves that NATO, which is the beast, is going to turn on the whore, which is America, real soon. All right, because why did Turkey purchase S-400s? Okay. So, and Donald Trump is putting a whole bunch of trade tariffs on Europe. So, you're seeing, the EU, all right, which gave their power onto the beast, which is NATO. They're starting to look at you, America, as the whore, all right, sideways. So you're no longer going to be riding this beast anymore, America. You're no longer going to be riding NATO anymore. Eventually, they're going to throw your happy ass off their back and destroy you. Continue on, verse 7. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right, and the Russians are a guard. Because why is China going to Russia for missile defense? Because Russia has the technology, all right? And the Lord set it up that way, right? For Russia to be a wedge against America's hegemony. And that's why America, you'll never take down the Russians. The Russians will take you down these last days. 8. And after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always a waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely of them. All right, the Lord, you're going to be bringing that sword. That's that nuclear weapon. All right. 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee. All right. Because not only are you going to destroy America, you can destroy that state of Israel too. 10, thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. What's that evil thought? Bad times, to bring bad times to America and the state of Israel. 11, thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, that's talking about America. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. Okay? And that's you Americans, man. You dwelling, comfortably. All right? You have a lack of care what's going on in the world. You think because what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Europe and South America and Asia, that has nothing to do with you. And you can do whatever you want. Newsflash, everything that's happening outside of America, all right, is a direct result of what's going on all right, here in America, all right, because America is the one causing all these problems, all right. The scripture says, let's get it. Babylon's the hammer of the earth. Let me say that. The hammer. Here it is. How Jeremiah 50:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right, because what you've been doing, America, you have become the hammer on the whole earth with your military, with your financial sanctions, your bullying, all right, with your political philosophy, all right, your threats, and you've been bullying all these nations. All right, but now these nations are waking up and seeing that you've become the problem, and they're itching to attack you on all levels. And that's why how has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? 24, I laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware, right? Because look at y'all and you're pumping your pride. You don't think you can be taken down. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord, right? And what is the snare is that you're in too much financial debt. You spread your military thin, all right? Oh, your men are becoming effeminate. Your military soldiers are blowing their heads off, all right, committing suicide. You've become, all right, weak. And that's the Lord bringing you down. 25, the Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, right? For this is the work of the Lord, power of the host in the land of the Chaldeans, right? And what's that armory? Nuclear weapons. And that's why he's getting the means, which are the modern day Russians, all right, preparing them with all the nations to attack you Americans, all right, that's scriptural. So let's go back to God. Ezekiel 38 and 12. To take a spoil, to take a prey, to turn thy hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Right? Because you Americans, all you've been thinking about is money and your riches, and you're not caring about, all right, what's going on in the rest of the world. So, and it's beautiful, it's that pride that's been put in you, and it's all for your judgment. 13, and Sheba, the non-merchants Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered the company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Right, because everything can be taken away from you, Americans, in these last days. Right? Everything. Okay, you're going to be spoiled. What's that scripture? Salakia, Isaac. I was going with the spirit. I didn't write anything down. Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, that thou was not spoiled, and that dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Right. You spoiled the whole land. Rape, robbing, and pillaging, going into people's land, stealing resources, oil, all right, lithium, okay, whatever type of resources is in the land that you want in America, you did. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. Right. Now that you've gotten fat and sloppy, all right, now you're about to be spoiled. Everybody's looking at you to get a piece of the pie. And they're going to take it by force. And when thou shalt make it end up to deal treacherously, thou shalt deal treacherously with thee, right? And they're going to deal treacherously with you, America, right? You're going to be going down in a big way. Back to Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 14. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto God, thus saith the Lord, power Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, in that day when my people Israel dwell safely, shall thou not know it? 15. And thou shalt come from the place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all them riding upon horses in great company and a mighty army. Right, this is going to be a big campaign against you Americans as well as Israel, because the statehood of Israel, because the Lord is going to pounce on the land too, on the land of Israel. I'm going to get to it. It says 16, and thou shalt come against my people Israel as a cloud to cover their land. It shall be in the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land, you see, that the heathen may know me when I shall be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes. 17. Thus saith the Lord power, art thou he of whom I have spoken old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years, that I would bring thee against them? Right. All right, this is prophecy being fulfilled. 18. And it shall come to pass at the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power, that my fury shall come upon in my face. You see? So you Israelis that are dwelling in our homeland, the Lord got something for your ass too. All right? It ain't just America. All right? You see, the point is that you're about to get judged. Point blank, period. All right? And there's no escaping it. There's no escaping it. You're going to get judged. Period. 19. For my jealousy and in the fire my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel. And what's that shaking? Nuclear missiles dropping on your happy ass. Plain. 20. So that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of heaven, the beasts of the field, and all the creeping things that creep upon the earth, and all the men that are upon the face of the earth, shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. Right. All right. That statehood of Israel is going to be destroyed, just like America, via nuclear missiles. Okay. And all these nations want to attack. All right. You so-called Jews. All right. You imposters. Okay. 21. I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord power. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. 22. And I will plead against him with the pestilence and with blood, and I'll rain upon him, upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, and overflowing rain and great hailstorms, fire and brimstone. Right. What can do all that? Nuclear fire, nuclear weapons. Right. That's why Russia is helping China to build a missile defense system. Okay, a deterrent. Nuclear weapons are being built. All right, because that's what it's coming down to. 23. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I'll be known in the eyes of my many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Right? Because when America gets destroyed, and when the state of Israel gets destroyed, that's when you nations are going to respect the true power, and you can respect Yahushua and his people, man. All right? Okay? All right? His family. All right? The 12 tribes of Israel. So Lord willing is edifying. Hey, once again, all right, the Medes are preparing themselves with all these nations like China to get ready to pounce on these nations. All we need is a couple more prophecies to be fulfilled, like Jacob's trouble and the RFID chip, and that's it, man. The nukes are going to fly. So get ready for destruction. Kaha Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Ukah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle of Great Millstone Ruel who taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith. And with that, Shalom and Abba Ball.